This video is going to be a bit weird, where the first half of the video is going to be directed at anime-onlies, talking about the foreshadowing left in by Tappy about a new problem that Subaru will be facing after the events of Arc 4, which will result in a countdown to his death should he be separated from Beatrice. Now, this is something you could piece together yourself from Season 1 and Season 2, and it's something I wanted to showcase, again to show the intricacies of ReZero, and why ReZero is such an amazing series. For web novel readers, I highly recommend you just simply skip to the latter half of the video, where we talk a bit about Arc 7. As stated, Subaru will be facing a new threat for the rest of his life after the events of Season 2, and this involves his gait fracturing in his battle versus Garfiel. The anime didn't really go into this, but during Subaru's encounter versus Garfiel, he uses Shamark after being told by Felix to not use magic for several months. Subaru did not listen, and during this encounter, it finally shattered. So the question is, why is this an issue? All the way back in Season 1, we learned from Puck that mana is something that you expel through your gait, with the gait essentially being an organ of your body. Finally, in the Frozen Bonds OVA, we learn about the Ode, which is a vessel which contains your magical energy. Over time, all people will gain mana, even Subaru, which is the reason why after he first used Shamark, he was exhausted and was told to rest by Emilia, so he could of course regain his mana. However, there is one issue facing Subaru. As we learned from Roswell's backstory, not releasing your mana can actually end in your death, even for people like Roswell, and that also applies to Subaru also. But as stated before, Subaru's gait is now broken, therefore he cannot actually use magical spells to expel his mana, which means eventually it will get to a point where Subaru will explode and die due to mana poisoning if he doesn't get rid of this accumulated mana. So of course the question becomes, is how does Subaru expel mana if he can no longer use magic like Shamark? Well, the answer actually goes back to the video topic. Similar to how Echidna sucked out the mana from Roswell, there's a character currently around that has been shown to suck mana from people, with that being Beatrice herself, who sucked Subaru's mana in Arc 2 when they first met. Meaning that for Subaru to live without dying for the rest of his life, he will now need to be near Beatrice so she can suck his mana out. And this is something that you could piece together from the information from Season 1 and Season 2, but it's pretty hard to do. So if you're anime only, thank you for watching, and let's move on to the web novel portion of this video. So I'm sure most of you know why exactly I've made this video. One of the most recent chapters of Arc 7 has stated that Subaru has been in Wallachia for approximately 20 or so days, which of course is leading to a potential death loop for Subaru, of course due to mana poisoning due to an accumulation of mana, since of course Subaru is now separated from Beatrice. There was a side story where Subaru, Otto and Garfiel fought Earth spiders, and I believe Subaru was able to be away from Beatrice for approximately a month before facing issues. However, don't quote me on that since the side story has not been translated fully. However, if we use a month as Subaru's sort of deadline, that means Subaru has 28 days in total, and it's been 20 days. So that means Subaru will die in approximately 8 days from mana poisoning, or at least start to exhibit some effects of mana poisoning. There's also, of course, the issue with Subaru being a child, about how that may potentially affect his health. Some people may speculate that now that Subaru is a child, he will now be affected more easily by mana poisoning because he has a smaller body. So I'm not really sure. I've seen people speculate that Subaru's actually become a child because of the mana poisoning. However, that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be most likely due to Olbart stabbing him in the chest, and there was no real effect. So I also speculate that Medium will also become a lolly, which will sort of prove that Olbart was the one behind Subaru becoming a child. So, of course, from Arc 7, we don't really know that many characters that can suck mana, with Echidna and Beatrice being the two that come to mind, because Echidna is not currently in Wallachia, and Beatrice is not there either. I'm not sure who can potentially suck mana from Subaru. I don't believe it can be Rem or Lewis, and it seems like Vincent or Priscilla won't be able to either. I mean, potentially Yorna might be able to if she actually joins Vincent. However, I'm not too sure what's going to happen, albeit some people do speculate that Beatrice may show up just before the deadline as a sort of like cliffhanger appearance, but at least that's my speculation. Let me know what you think about Subaru's mana poisoning issue, because of course it is a plot point that many people have seemed to have forgotten, but I do believe it will come into effect very soon. Anyways, thank you for watching and let me know what you think.